Introduction. In this series of short videos, I hope to share some of the stories I have uncovered in looking at the ancestry of a specific subject, as well as stories from my ancestors and stories of some unrelated individuals. As an outsider, except for my own ancestral line, I have had to make educated guesses, sometimes based on the history of the time and place. There could be information that relatives have to which I am not privy, which could modify the stories as I have told them here. In these videos, I will not be sharing a lot of text-based documents nor citations, but both are available upon request. The script will be available as well. I may include a few relevant images, such as maps, signatures, ships, etc., that could help add color to the stories. I am not a videographer and lack both the tools and the skill set to create a quality work, but I hope you find them useful. This is a format I believe will work both in terms of their relatively short length and in terms of permitting a person to listen while doing other things, if that's the way they prefer to watch YouTube. Comments are permitted to people with a YouTube account. I welcome questions and ideas, particularly suggestions on how I could improve these videos. My primary purpose in creating these videos is twofold. I wish to pass along the stories I have developed from the available documentary material, as well as work that provides more context to the information, to the subject descendants of many of the people of these stories. 2, I will be teaching a course in genealogical storytelling in the fall and will be using many of these stories as course material. The first set of videos is based on the aspects of the subject story that struck me the most at looking at the tree, the story of immigration and emigration, of starting a new life in a new place and leaving behind the familiar. There are those today who disparage what has come to be called chain migration, but the connection to family and friends who preceded a person in a new place is important to helping the immigrant acclimate and integrate in a new society where just about everything is unfamiliar. While a large committee of immigrants can create pockets that inhibit integration, finding a balance between old and new cultures eases the transition, and the next generation serves as a springboard to full integration. The first 3 parts take place in the early 20th century, and each of the families came through New York City, and often Ellis Island, which I recently visited. I may incorporate images from Ellis Island in those videos. Although these photographs are not specific to the family being discussed, they assist in showing the immigrant experience. The 4th immigration story is from the early to middle 17th century and involves a group of individuals who helped found Saybrook and Lyme, Connecticut. There will be other immigration stories for individuals not related to the primary subject. Because so many aspects of life intersect, the stories will as well. I may talk about a person in immigration stories, work stories, war stories, stories from home, and any other category of stories I create. There will undoubtedly be some degree of repetition in the material presented. Work stories will focus on the profession of an individual or group of individuals. What can we glean from the records about what a person did for work to help us understand who they were when they chose that profession or trade, and how that might have influenced the person they became. Understanding what is involved in practicing a particular trade or profession can provide clues to the skills and inclinations the individual possessed, even in the absence of specific data about, for example, the person's temperament or personality. Stories from home will talk about where they lived, the members of the family, any kind of interactions with church, social organizations, etc., that happened within that family group. The other set of war stories will talk about the military service that various ancestors have performed in various wars or other even peacetime military experiences. A genealogist may find additional information in public trees on such sites as Wikitree or FamilySearch.org, including links to many of the sources I cite here. This is the story of a family, or several different families, at least as far as the paper trail permits us to know, and perhaps I have been able to push them a bit beyond the papers. Have fun with these. If they are members of your family, I hope I can give you a new perspective on the more distant past that you may find still informs your present. Thank you.